Ayy, this ain't a drill. Only time I plan is on the field. And when I'm on the field, no, I got mad skills. And you know we bout to eat this a fast meal. Y'all gotta pay for this heat like a gas bill. We keep on coming back, so yeah, they mad still. 716 make them pay me some bad bills. Red, white, and blue like Superman, so you know we eating at the Super Bowl. Kill the competition, set up the funeral. Josh Allen catching all the shots you go for, we callin' blitz. Ready to start, we ain't calling no quits. I'm the #1 draft pick. A lot of y'all talk, but I ain't hearing it. Only listen to Keyshawn and talk about the Bills dominating on the field. All our players got them skills. Buffalo gon' make a kill when we talk about the Bills. Dominating on the field, and our players got them skills. Buffalo gon' make a kill.
What's going on? We back with another live episode of the Post Podium Podcast, home of the all truth, no sodium. Wait. We got sodium today?
No, but you know what? Is this microphone on? You got me? Good sound? All right. Guys, real quick. I know my cohort over here.
Oh, no.
Not Melly Mac.
Oh, no.
Mr. A over here.
All right. Here we
So
go.
I want you guys to play a game with me, okay? Since I got to work after this. And since we're in the house of anointing. Okay? This is what I'm going to propose. Now, every time my gentleman over here to my left says fire McDermott, or
they gonna get drunk today
about McDermott,
they gonna be litty today.
I want you all to get a beverage. This is what I'm drinking. Get you a beverage.
This
and
what y'all talked about before the show?
No, we're gonna take a swig, all of us together. Now, I'm gonna be real lit. That's my little shot cup. Anybody else want it? No, okay, that's cool too.
I'll take one.
You want some?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Cameraman, come on in, get you one. Yeah, there you go. Everybody gonna see Junie for the first time in history. Junie!
Oh no! Please don't.
Okay, so anytime he says something about fire McDermott, fire somebody, something bad, take you a shot. Okay, and at the end of this show, we gonna count them up and see what we came up with. If I miss one, I'll catch up. If you miss one, I trust you guys to
I mean, what's the over under? Y'all, we gonna start getting some money on this. We'll get some entertainment.
I'm gonna say, I can't do that now because it's gonna skew the
Rich
project.
Rich said, "Where's his virtual cup? You got to put one on the desk for him."
Okay, I'm gonna pour one out for you. I got you in your cup. It's gonna be so wet the bottom gonna wear through.
Oh,
hey, wait, hold on.
Oh no.
No. Press play on that.
Okay.
Yo,
I mean, I can't fight that. I did make a whole social media post about people saying pause all the time,
and I commented.
Huh?
I commented.
I did. I
yeah.
appreciate it.
You commented? What? No, hold on.
Listen, the pause culture in general gets on my last nerve.
Well, that's too bad. Stop saying stuff that would sound pause or that would sound.
How you say sound pause? Pause is stoppage.
Right.
There's no sound when you have a stoppage. Therefore, there's no pause except for.
Like, what are we pausing for? Like, that's like saying let's have a moment of silence for the sexual thing you just said.
That's like saying, let's just sit in it and wallow in it for a minute.
Right.
Let me just absorb all that.
But you can't say it in like you're saying in a full sense and not realize what you're saying.
I need a hand.
And like people in the background be like, wait, hold on. Hey yo, like you can't.
So if I'm sitting here and I'm talking about a game and I say there's no way the Bills can win this game without the D.
Like, yeah, that's pause.
Why?
You can't say that.
The producer is going nuts. You see his reaction?
You can't. No, bro. That was sus. Bro.
How is it sus? Listen,
that's sus too.
What is D short for? It's short for defense. Like within the context of the conversation, it's short for defense. We know this.
Right. It would be different if the conversation wasn't about football.
That's what I'm saying.
But the conversation is about football. So.
But you can't say it like that. But
okay,
you're literally saying in the matter of.
What about Detroit?
There's a difference between saying the Bills can't win this game without the D and saying Aramis can't win this game without the D. Like those are two different things.
No,
if you playing 2K, you still might not win the game without the D.
Like, huh?
If you playing 2K, you still can't win the game without the D.
Hey yo,
if you playing Madden, you gotta have the D.
Bro,
right?
Come on.
Right. I mean, everybody needs the D. Period.
Hey, yo, hey, bro.
Yo.
That's what it is. If you're playing in sports, you got to be able to play D.
No, it's called no. You're saying defense, not saying D.
No, what can you do against the D?
Listen, it is what it is.
No, it's not what it is.
I'm gonna get on a plane. I'm gonna fly to D, Michigan. I'm gonna fly to the D.
That was sus.
No, that's actually a good point.
No,
people call Detroit the D.
The D. So what? Yeah,
Now
his
what?
head's about to
Now what?
explode.
The Bills about to go play in the D.
In a minute, I'm about to find y'all a new producer in a minute because y'all about to have a new
Should we
producer in
drink
a
in this
minute.
conversation?
man.
This is wild.
Yeah, this might be an episode full of this.
This gonna turn into drink camps in a minute.
I'm
Hey!
not surprised, Keyshawn. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
So what were we talking about anyway? No, ain't no sodium today, as you guys can tell if you're just now joining. Hey, we are full of merriment and joy.
Yeah, we've purged, we've vented and did all the kumbaya stuff. We need rub the earlobes, woosah, and everything. So
did.
we ready to move on. But,
I am.
I mean,
I still want to talk about it. I'm ready to go. You know,
stuff we heard. What have we heard? What's the goodness going on right now?
hey, what is this I hear about everybody wanting Belichick?
And ain't nobody taking him.
I mean, in Buffalo though.
What's the name? Carolina just hired this dude named I think it's Dan Canales or something
Yeah,
like that.
from Arizona.
Yeah.
Yes, but everybody's like, oh, he can come to Buffalo be a defensive coordinator. You realize,
I'm not sure I would be opposed to that.
but you realize that
He would never do it.
That's a
Belichick
downgrade.
is
It's a downgrade?
It's a downgrade. You a head coach?
For him to be a defensive coordinator?
I think so because he a head coach, man. Like I
He means
wouldn't
Just
I wouldn't wanna go
entitled.
down.
oh well, it's
Yeah,
over for
yeah,
him
yeah.
anyway. He ain't
Yeah,
getting
I
a job.
wouldn't want to do that.
But this is my point. Why is he not getting a job? Because he wants total control.
No doubt.
What does everybody say about McDermott? He's a tyrant who wants total control.
Total control.
To the Belichick he has proven.
Wait, does it count when you say McDermott? Oh, you
No.
said fire McDermott. Okay,
Yeah,
never
fire
mind.
McDermott
My
is
bad.
saying anything negative about McDermott. This thing is going
Stop
to be
supposed to pay attention,
by the end of
folks.
the day. I
Funny
know
part
that.
about that is I did some research on that today too. So I got one major point that I want to get out before the show's over. But
Uh-oh. No, you're going to do it. You're going to do it. But yeah, so no, I mean the thing is Belichick, he's earned the right to want total control because he's got what, 6 trophies, 7 trophies,
Yeah.
6 trophies.
yeah,
So of
if
course
there's anybody that's earned it, it's him.
nobody's going to give it to him,
That's true.
and that's the thing. You know, he wants to be GM, he wants to be DC, he wants to be head coach. And what did his defense really do after Brady left? What did he really do?
hey, what
after
did
Brady
he
left?
do without Brady? Period.
Well, right, and I think that points to
Period.
the main thing that we're seeing with Belichick is the sway of the league, the new wave of focus on offense. Like, really think about where teams are going.
Oh, wait a
in
minute.
terms
Wait.
of-
If he says offensive minded head coach, that's a shot too.
You
Yay!
gonna drink everything I say now? Jeez. Junie, real quick, can you just check the focus on Mac's camera for me? Anyway,
Go on.
make sure you unplug it first. Unplug the gray cord before you check the focus. That way you can get it right. I think
I already got it to the mouth. Go on.
Oh
All right,
my
make
god!
a point. I'm sorry.
And for those of you who couldn't see what Keyshawn was doing, he had the cup like literally ready to drink right there. But yeah, my mindset on it is the sway of the league, the way that things are moving within the NFL right now. Everything is focused on scoring more points, more entertaining offense. The fans want to see the most exciting thing in the league, which is touchdowns, right? We've heard the league talk about getting rid of the kickoffs so that they cut down on injuries. Really, the NFL is trying to get rid of the things that make people go ill or ouch, and trying to put more things in or grow things within the game that make people say ooh and ah. And it's offense, and it's quarterbacks, and it's wide receivers, and those two things are the two primary things that Belichick has never been able to get right outside of Tom Brady. Mm-hmm. And if we're looking at his entire coaching career, I think that's what the owners are looking at, and they're saying to themselves, you know what? He got lucky once, and it lasted for 20 years. But do we want to take the chance that it may not happen again for another 20 years? You know what I'm saying? Because in the 3 years that he's been without Brady, he hadn't been able to find anybody. And they've gone through, I think it was six different quarterbacks that they've gone through since Tom Brady's been there, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you had 6 tries at the thing, and you couldn't find nobody, right? And Pete Carroll did it in 2 years? He found Russell Wilson within 2 years. Who else can we point to?
I think, I think to that point, and I agree with you. It was too many quarterbacks, but he chose to try to be smart. He tried to do what the old Bills used to do. He did Bailey Zappi. What round was he drafted in?
Yeah.
He did. Who was his backup? I don't even know the guy's name. He did Cam Newton, who was 30 years old. He was pretty much washed. Mac Jones. Who really had Mac Jones in the first round? Mac Jones was not a top 5 quarterback. So this guy, like he did with Cole Strange, was reach on that guy. He really believed in it. It backfired because Mac Jones is sitting watching the game with popcorn like we are. So, I mean, Belichick, that errs to his lack of draft ability. That errs to now we're starting to see a lack of evaluation of talent. So what do we really have when we're talking about Belichick? Like you said, we were talking about KC. History. It's all about history, but people forget. It took 2 to tango, and his partner danced to somebody else and won a trophy.
And prove that he could do it without him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like even people forget, this not Belichick's first coaching gig. Like he was the Browns coach.
Yeah.
And did
that was
absolutely
fast.
Nothing.
That was fast.
You know what I'm saying?
He flamed out.
Rich says, LOL, A gonna be drunk off Pepsi for the first time in history. I used to be a Pepsi drinker a long time ago. I'm not engaging in this game.
He's not imbibing
I care
in
not
Pepsi.
to engage in this game.
And for you guys that don't think it's Pepsi, it really is. It fizzes. If I was off tonight, I probably wouldn't have Pepsi. I have something else, but it is what it is.
All right. So what do we think of the hires so far? Right. Like we've had Raheem Morris in Atlanta, Dan Canales in Carolina, Harbaugh's is in L.A.
I like Harbaugh in L.A.
I do too, 100%.
I think he's gonna make Herbert better.
Yeah,
I think they're gonna get rid of the whole charging thing. It's gonna be over with.
That's why the Josh Allen thing is not Josh Allen, but the Bills lost to Kansas City on Sunday is really gonna sting.
Yeah,
because this was the year to do it. Because now these teams are getting better. Just Herbert, when he was healthy, is a top quarterback.
Right.
He's proven that he can only get better if you get quality weapons. Because Austin Eckler and wide receivers who are always injured.
Yeah.
Wait till he gets somebody in that. Harbaugh is a name. Yeah. He's definitely a name, and people have seen what he can do.
Right.
Did y'all see the Josh Allen curse?
I did see that.
You see that?
Is that like that's
Oh
a real
yeah,
thing?
I was gonna bring that up. Yeah, I was gonna bring it up.
What y'all think about that? Like, is it?
Well, if you look at who's out for the Chiefs this week, their best, I would say their second best offensive lineman, Joe Thuney, their guard, he's out.
Yeah.
Right. They're saying who else? The running back is questionable.
Pacheco?
Yeah.
Wow.
Now that I
they're
saw
saying he's
that,
questionable.
I might put my $2 on the Chiefs.
They got like 3 players that are out that are like good players for the team, and like I'm looking at that, I'm like, man, they might be on to something with that curse.
They said since always since up until the Texans. After the Texans beat us, they lost.
Kind of makes you think. One of y'all was talking about how somebody told Josh to just take these losses, and then one of these years it'll be his time later on. Was that you? Yeah. Like it kind of makes you think about that a little bit, right? Just to play around with conspiracy theories. This curse that comes after
That's all you had to know. Conspiracy theory. It's not me. You know that. You know that's one of y'all too. Conspiracy theory for me?
Right. You're right.
Never.
But yeah, I think that's an interesting thought when you think about it that way. Like Josh take all these losses. There's some retribution in it. The fact that whoever loses to him ends up losing the next game after that.
Right.
I mean, everything is pointing towards the Ravens being able to dominate this game, and it's crazy because in a lot of ways I kind of looked at the Bills situation of being able to dominate that game. I didn't know that Rasul Douglas was going to be that hurt. Yeah. And I didn't know Terrell Bernard was going to get knocked out of the game either. You know what I'm saying? So stuff like that you can't foresee, but
yeah, I mean, if the Chiefs win this game with the injuries that you're talking about, injuries and the lack of talent that they had, regardless,
you just got to hang it up after that. You got to give your cleats back. Like
if they win this game, I mean that flies in the face of all the injury talk the Bills fans are talking about.
Ooh, that's also a great point.
I mean it can be done. Yeah. It can be done, and they alluded to as much. I don't know if you guys. Well, we're gonna go down a rabbit hole, so we'll save that because I listen to so many press conferences. I even watched some national stuff this time.
Ooh, what you watch?
I watched Get Up.
Okay.
I watched what is it called? Nightcap.
Oh, my
Yo, did you see it?
God. No.
Oh, I got a clip for you. I got a clip. I got a sound
the
clip
one
for
on
you.
the Bills.
Yeah, they were talking about the Bills.
I might have seen
He's
something.
talking about Von Miller.
I might have seen. Oh yeah. Where he was talking about like you got to give me one sack. You got to give me one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was going off on Vine.
Yeah,
he was not happy about that.
Come
at
on,
all.
Ocho.
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 You know. You got to be able to give me one sack.
He gonna give him one. We gonna give him money back. Get that money back. That's what we're gonna do.
He had 5 tackles.
In
5
14 games. Ocho. 14 games. Come on,
Yo,
Ocho.
he was bent over that one. You can't give me one sack. One sack. He said Jerry Rice tore
Yo,
his
did you see?
ACL
Did you see
came
him
back in the same season.
He was perplexed when he's like, "Wait, no, man, what the same thing? No."
Ocho ain't know what to say after that.
The whole interview, he was lost. He was like,
Right. Like Ocho, he had a gripe right up until that point. He had a good point, like injury. But Jerry Rice, I ain't got nothing for you.
he was like, your best friend. What did he do? Your best friend. He broke his leg week
Your
1.
best friend.
And then what happened? He came back the next year, the following year, and played in the Super Bowl. What did he have?
Technically, yeah, it was a full year.
And then it was the same year.
I know, but I mean, like a year's worth of time.
The
Like,
thing was, he had Ocho walk right into his trap. He was like, "No, it was the same year." Oh, the same year, huh? Wow. Okay.
yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed that. But yeah, what other coaches you got right now? Because I got one I want to talk about.
Oh, go ahead.
I might curse on this one.
Ooh, okay. Focusing on the man.
Wait, hold on. Ken is watching.
I might curse on.
would
No,
you
I ain't
say
gonna curse on
that?
this one.
Why would you say that? We was finally about to get one out of him.
Nah,
Dang.
I've cursed before, and it'll happen again.
Yeah, but
But-
not until like 9 o'clock at
I
night
know.
when he sleep.
Well, on Fridays he's up past when I get home. So
Oh, okay.
who knows?
All right.
He'll be up. But this is my thing. Who do we know? Who's near and dear to our hearts? That's interviewing for positions right now.
Our linebacker coach,
The freaking linebacker coach,
Bobby Babbage.
Bobby Babbage, is interviewed for the Giants.
Eric Washington interview too.
Bobby Babbage is interviewed for the Giants. He interviewed for the Dolphins now.
Yep.
And he interviewed, who was the third
The
one?
Jets.
He did the Jets too?
I thought I heard the Jets, Miami.
It's another one. So the Jets.
It's another one.
Dude, if we lose Bobby Babbage, when we have no DC, I'll pay you $2 million to do what you were doing
We
before.
have Eric Washington.
Yo, did you see that though? Eric Washington he interviewed for Chicago,
Yeah.
where he was coach before.
Yeah.
Did you see Twitter?
Yes.
They do not want this man back.
Right.
They do not want. They're like, yo,
Even Bills fans are on Twitter like, "Yep, bye, take him,
Right.
take him."
Nobody
Don't
wants
want
him
Yeah.
back.
Nobody wants that.
so that's an indictment.
and he's the assistant head coach here, and he can't get work.
That's the indictment.
Yeah.
But let's see, Bobby Babbage. Oh, where'd I have it? Well, at any rate, the Packers.
Oh, Green Bay.
Packers.
I was hoping you wouldn't bring this up.
What?
I'm looking at the screen. I'll give it. I'll let you get to it.
Can I do it now? Can I do it now?
Yeah.
Can I do it now?
Go ahead.
The damn spot is vacant.
What spot?
What spot?
The DC spot in Buffalo. Vacant.
Wait, they're interviewing defensive coordinators?
Who, the Bills?
Yeah.
No, that's my point. Bobby Babbage is going to leave Buffalo.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
When we have a spot that you could just put him there and say,
Right,
you
right.
are the defensive coordinator. I'm calling the plays.
Right.
You're the DC. I will pay you to be the DC. Right. I'm still going to call the plays. You run the practices. Fine with that. The problem with McDermott is when you have to make, decisions based on personnel, based on practice habits, based on the scheme for the game coming up. You can't do that wholeheartedly when you're a head coach because you need to be on the offensive side, defensive side, special teams side, which I'm going to get to. And no, we're not going to park on nothing crazy. But I had a question for you guys on special teams. Seriously.
Okay.
But no, say it with me. We will pay you $2 million to be the linebacker coach because this is my thing.
You think the money will be enough?
Yeah, I mean, why else would you leave? Why else would you leave?
Culture.
Do he think that because we're in cap jail that he won't be able to get the players that he need for his defense to be successful?
Exactly.
But the thing is this is my thing. You got Dwayne Williams, you got Milano, you got oh, he about to roast me. I can't wait. But this is you have Russo, and again, you have guys you can develop. Yeah. And this is your claim to fame, working with young guys. Yeah. This is
wait, who's Bobby Babbage?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because you figured he worked with he was the secondary coach. And who came up in the secondary?
Where?
Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer. They came to fame under Babbage.
Oh, okay.
He moved to linebackers. The same year he moved to linebackers, you got this nobody named Terrell Bernard to be an all-pro freaking linebacker.
And he even
like that.
He even got Matt Milano to be elite
better.
Linebacker.
Mm-hmm. Dotson, better.
Yeah.
You got Dorian Williams, and that's the point I wanted to make too, because that's later, because that has nothing to do with this per se.
Yeah.
But I thought about an analogy when I was actually in the gym. But yeah, I don't know why people think this is going to be a year we need to knock the offense out of the park in the draft. Because we have the offensive line, finally. We got the running back, finally. We got the tight ends, finally.
Right.
All we need is a wide receiver or two. What?
Them's fighting words, bro. Them's fighting words.
Why?
You said we don't have to focus on the offense this season?
This season? In the draft?
This coming season?
In the draft? You want an offensive centric draft when you have no defense?
I mean, to
The
your point.
only thing. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
To your point, I think that's our biggest hole is the wide receivers. Like, I want to at least give me two or three of them bad boys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. First round.
But I'm cool with Kincaid. I'm even cool with Knox right now. Right. And the offensive line. They've been consistent. Like, matter of fact, a stat in the AFC, they've been the most consistent line in the whole AFC, right? So I'm cool with that. I will want more pieces though to build up, the bench or whatever, just in case.
The bench, but yeah,
other than that,
right.
I don't really see a glaring hole on the offense besides the wide receivers.
That's my point.
So I don't know if that's what A was talking about, or you see some more issues.
You see glaring holes on offense?
I see glaring holes. Here's why.
Okay.
Here's why. Every team in the playoffs right now has a dominant side of the ball. Except you could make a case for the 49ers and the Ravens that they have two dominant sides of the ball based on the numbers they've produced this season. Okay? Chiefs, it's their defense. Lions, it's for sure their offense, right? When you think about playing the Ravens and you think about what people are talking about this season with that team, it's how good the offense is and how unstoppable the offense has been now that it's more of a traditional, passing, downfield passing attack, right? With the 49ers. All you've heard about all season long is Brock Purdy in the offense and how nobody's been able to stop that offense, right? They also have a great defense, but the side of the ball people talk about is the offense. My point is this. This season has been the defense for the Bills that's been the dominant side of the ball most of the season. And it's been the offense that has been doing what it takes to win games. Even with the injuries, the defense has rated higher than the offense has. We were 6th in defense. I don't remember what the numbers were as far as where we ranked in offense, but I know it's lower than where we ranked on defense, right? So what I'm trying to say is, now that we're losing so many pieces on defense, the fact that we have a pretty good offense is cool. But we need to make sure we have at least one dominant side of our team.
And I think the offense is dominant already.
I don't. Here's why.
Okay.
I think the fact that our offensive guard position is weak at Connor McGovern.
Okay.
It's weak at Connor McGovern. On top of that, I think the running aspect of the line is weak at Mitch Morse. Now, he can pull, that's cool, but we're talking about being able to push and move guys off the spot consistently on a week-to-week basis. Not just in one playoff game, not just in a 6-game win streak where you run good against some teams and some other teams you really can't move the ball against. I'm talking about a Lions-style offensive line where no matter who you facing, you can get your run game off on them. in some way, shape, or form. Whether you run it to the outside or you run it up the gut, some way, shape, or form. Like that's what I mean when I say a dominant side of the ball, where no matter who you go against, to some degree, you are going to execute whatever you want to execute. It may not be 5 yards that week. It may be 3.8. But you're still able to move the ball effectively, whether you're stopping the pass and stopping the run or passing and running, right? So when you think about the Bills, when I think about the Bills, not when y'all think about the Bills, I don't see on offense, I don't see anything dominant except for Josh Allen. I don't see any other dominant aspect of the Bills' offense other than Josh Allen, and we've seen it in the playoffs now. Every single time that that we need to have it, who do they call on? 17. We can't even go to 14 and trust that it's going to get done now because of what we've seen in this playoff game. And I'm sorry that it all comes down to one play for Diggs, but that's why we got a number one receiver, is to execute those plays, right? So the macro of my point is this. We have no team speed aside from Shakir. None. Right? We can't point to anything on defense and say there's nothing that teams can do to stop this. Right? Like we've seen, teams can pass on us. Teams can run up the gut if they really try. Like I need in the 2024 season, what I really need to happen is I need the Bills to go all in on offense. I need, to some degree, for somebody to stand up in that room and say, what we have is not enough, obviously, and we need to improve it. We need a number 2 receiver, and that number 2 receiver needs to be a speed demon that cannot be slowed down by anybody. It needs to be Waddle-esque. They need to be the kid in Green Bay-esque, that kind of speed. I need a guy that can outrun a Josh Allen pass. Okay? You get me one of those guys, now we might be on to something. Furthermore, we need a center that can dominantly block in the run game and is okay in the pass game. And the reason I say okay in the pass game is because Connor McGovern's a better pass blocker than he is a run blocker. Okay? So I will take my guards helping out my center in that aspect, and with Josh Allen's escapability, I don't really need to invest so heavily in pass blocking. I need to add a dimension, or I need to improve the dimension of my team that helps Josh Allen more, which is the run game. So I need better run blockers, okay? If I can do stuff like that, if I can draft a guard, if I can draft a wide receiver or 2, I prefer to have 2, then I think we're really talking about an offense that can carry the team. And what that allows you to do is you got 10 draft picks. Mm-hmm. If you use the first 3 on guys that can come in and start for the offense, mm-hmm. that gives you the ability. And this point too, the Bills have proven that their percentages are higher on hitting on later picks anyway, mm-hmm. right? So with the coaching staff that we have on defense and all that, we can afford to get some younger guys. We still got all our linebackers. Those guys are coming back. Milano and Bernard will be here. Mm-hmm. Dotson, maybe, if he wants to, can still be here, right? Mm-hmm. He'll be on the cheap anyway. Who else? Our most of our corners will still be here. We'll have at least 3. Trey White, Benford, and Elam.
Maybe Trey White, maybe.
Okay, well that's the Bills have to decide whether or not they want to keep him on that.
Douglas.
And Douglas, he's got 1 year left on his deal too.
Yeah, Douglas.
He was on a 2-year deal.
Okay.
So we got 4 corners, right? We got 4 corners, 2 linebackers, and Dotson if we want to. 3 linebackers because we got Dorian Williams, right? So excuse me. So those guys are under contract. You got Russo and you got Oliver under contract. You got Miller under contract. So you got 3 out of 4 defensive linemen under contract. You just need a 1 tech, technically, right? Mm-hmm. So what I'm saying is you still have enough pieces on defense to be able to add some young guys in and not need that side of the ball to perform at a 6th overall level, right? And the Chiefs have shown us this. if they can just play at a 26th overall level with those young guys, but we have a dominant offense like the Chiefs had, you can win a Super Bowl that way. They proved it twice, right? So what I'm saying is, I understand that we want the team to be, well-rounded, and the past 4 or 5 years, it has been well-rounded. It has been. If you look at the players that we've had on offense, we've had receivers that can run routes and block. We've had tight ends that can run routes and block. We've had linemen that are pretty good at pass blocking and pretty good at run blocking. Like, all this well-roundedness is cool, but we were talking about this the other day. Sometimes it can be a little frustrating being a jack of all trades and master of none.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And when I'm thinking about winning a championship, you have to be an elite level team to win a championship. So if that's the case, I need elite level play on at least one side of the ball. Just give me one.
So if you add, like to me and Keith's point, if you give us 2 good wide receivers, and I see your point with the offensive line, but my only drawback with the offensive line is, if we get those wide receivers, I want to pass happy offense.
But this is the thing.
I agree with that.
This is the thing as well.
I don't want I like James Cook. Don't get me wrong, he's a good running back, but I don't want to rely on him.
But
I want to rely on him airing out.
He can play in that game.
Can he though?
Yeah.
Can he though?
But also you got to remember, Connor McGovern 2023 season, 2 sacks, giving up 4 hits. Okay, so that's not a dire need. This is my thing. This is where I'm going with this.
I don't think
you had an OC who was ill prepared for the job, manning the team for the first 10 weeks of the season. You didn't have a guy step in who's not running his offense, not with his players, who is a downfield coach. He's an air raid coach. You don't have your personnel, right. And you can see where if they had a system instilled. Of course, it's not going to be the flashiest thing ever. But the thing is, if they knew the system inside and out, it would have been good enough to win that game on Sunday. Where did we fall apart?
I don't know if we could say that though, bro. Like, if you think about it like this, Dorsey's offense, the year after Daboll left, that next season when Dorsey took over as offensive coordinator, he was slightly better than Daboll in terms of offensive production. The Bills are number 2 in the league in offense, right? So I don't think the coordinator was the issue at that point. What I think the issue was Sean was trying to move the team closer towards his vision of what he wanted, which was less opportunity for Josh to make mistakes, running the ball more ball control, less turnovers, right? And that's a defensive-minded head coach's.
So that came from your source. That came from your source.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what he wanted.
I'm
right?
about to say, yeah.
So when you look at the transition that happened this year, where we went to a 12 formation, like we talked about this in the last episode. All of that is built for ball control, less chances taken, running the clock, all that kind of stuff, right? And that's cool. But like Max said, like when the Bills were really dominant, what were we doing best? We were passing the ball. Yeah.
Right. And Josh doesn't run. But that's the thing. That also goes into the play calls. That's my point. The play calls is paramount here.
But you were saying that because the players weren't familiar with the offense,
I don't expect the team that is the offensive coordinator fired in the halfway point of the season to be hitting on all cylinders. We have the talent.
Yeah, but again, the reason I was trying to make the point, set up the point the way I was setting it up, is because I don't think the offense, I don't think the scheme from a coordinator standpoint was the issue. I think the issue was the restrictions that the head coach tried to put on a team that choked them out through the first 12 weeks of the season.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So in that same vein, what does drafting players change in that? What does anybody you draft change in that sentiment? Because you can.
That's my point.
That's my point. That's what I'm saying. If you want to get a dominant side of the ball, it don't matter who you get. If the person that's in charge, at the head of this whole thing, says, "I want this," you're never going to be dominant if he is what you say he is, and says.
Tell them that. Tell them that.
No, because I don't believe it. I can't tell them that because
no, you saying the right things.
No, I know. But what I'm saying is, my overarching point.
You ain't gonna get me to say it.
My overarching point is
Put your cup down. You ain't gonna get me to say
I
it.
ain't got the cup. I ain't got the cup. My overarching point, though, when it comes to picking up talent, how do we lose? I know you say offense. We lost because of one word that everybody throws around. Mel, you know what the word is?
McDermott.
Huh?
Are you talking
my
about
man? He said it. He said
say?
it. He said McDermott.
Are you talking about the?
I didn't say it. You can't drink. No, it don't even count. It don't. Rich, put your cup down. Your virtual cup. Put it down.
Is it complimentary football?
No. It's one word. It starts with an I. Injuries. Everybody says injuries, right or wrong. Yeah. So you want to rely on Matt Milano, when's the last time he's really been healthy besides last season? Yeah. Terrell Bernard, he's undersized.
But that flies in the face of your point of injury. Like, injuries are not an excuse.
That's not the point I'm trying to make, though.
Okay.
But the point I'm trying to make is if you're trying to build this team into a Super Bowl team, we'll just go in McDermott's eyes. We'll say that. You need depth. You need competition. Because I'm not going to run out there with Trey White again. I'm not going to run out there with Christian Benford, who can't stay healthy again.
But what is depth won us?
We haven't had depth.
What do you mean we have? The Bills have been known for the last 5 years up until this year. Really, and even with this year, people have still talked about it. But the Bills have been one of the deepest teams in the league, if not the deepest.
No,
team in the league
they have historically, but this year we caught a linebacker that was in an RV getting ready to go to Key West.
I get that. But my point.
You about to mess up. I'm about to drink something now.
What that really? I'm gonna tell you what that boils down to, because I get your point. But I think it's better said if you state it this way. The Bills have not done a good enough job of getting the right personnel in to depth positions. Christian Kirksey was allowed to just retire and walk away from the team because he felt like he was lied to.
Okay, this is another point I had. Why in the world do we have all these future contracts on our roster right now?
Because the Bills want us to know that they're out there trying to do the best they can.
Well, that's my point.
To secure the future.
Who's the futures for? Shane Bussell, right? Mm-hmm. Ilianku, right?
Mm-hmm. Who's the receiver they signed the future?
KJ Hamler. Yeah, KJ Hamler. That goes against my point, so I'm going to leave him out for this. But who else? I mean, think about it. Who else is future contracts? The same guys are always on our practice squad.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
They've never been good enough to make our active roster. Right. Why do we keep bringing these dudes back? Find somebody out there on somebody's practice. Give them a flyer. That's what the practice squad is for. Flyers. However, I've seen enough of you. Shavers, I know you. Darrington Evans, you didn't make my practice squad. Why are you here?
Right.
I liked you.
Right.
Isabella, what are you here for? You did nothing at all. You did cardio. You were subpar in punt returns, subpar in kick returns. You were not a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Why are you back? So when Hardy goes down, we're gonna put Isabella up there to do what? When Daquan Jones leaves, is Ilianku gonna make the 53? Because if not, why is he here? Yeah. He's been on our practice squad for the last 2-3 years. Richard Garage, I liked him. You didn't even make the practice squad. Why are you here? You got 16 spots to find 16 more players that you can. Those are the guys you go get if the guys that I brought in suck.
Right.
Yeah.
If I need somebody that's got to play on Sunday, you may know my system. I'll bring you into my practice squad to boost you up. This is the point I'm trying to make when it comes to putting people in positions to make this team right.
Okay, I'll put it this way. The NFL has operated with certain I don't want to say traditions, but they've operated with certain modes of operation within itself for years and years with no issue. What I mean by that is this. They've had a GM who was supervised by either the owner of the team or a president of football operations. Mm-hmm. After that, the GM supervises the head coach. Mm-hmm. The head coach supervises all of the ancillary coaches, position coaches.
Go ahead.
Okay. And those coaches manage the players, right? Obviously. And so my point is this. Our head coach and our GM.
Don't steal my point. Don't steal my shine. Don't steal it. Don't you steal it.
What you want to say? Go ahead. I won't steal it.
Did you see Bean's face when he said that?
What
you're about to say in his press conference? I know what you're about to say.
When somebody asked him to rate to talk about what he thought to grade the season, basically.
Grade, yeah. However, it came out when he said Sean and I reported Terry Pegula.
Yeah.
My man was as red as Mills' hat.
Yeah.
That knocked all the wind out of sails.
Yeah.
I was like, I wrote it in my note.
Yeah.
He said if he doesn't think I'm doing a good enough job, if he doesn't think it wasn't we'll get together. It ain't no we. It's a 3-man operation at best.
Right.
Actually, it's a 1-man operation.
Terry?
No. Sean.
And that's not even a drinkable moment because it's true. I mean, the reason why I position like this is because Terry's a hockey guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's a businessman, so him and Oberdorf being in office, they get it in.
I strongly believe he was convinced to buy the Bills because people just
100%.
wanted the easy answer as an NFL owner.
I thought his wife wanted it more than he did.
No, he just said, here. He just said, here, you take him because I don't know what to do with him.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's true. She's a fan of theirs, but that's like, what's the song? Nothing from nothing leaves nothing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She's at a 1, he's at a 0. It's not hard to beat.
Right. Yeah, Pegula, and I'm saying this just based on my observations. I don't know for sure. I'm trying to find out. Believe me, I'm trying to find out. But Pegula's stance on the team seems to be, just enjoying the camaraderie with the fans, enjoying the, storyline of the season, and of course making the money. Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the day, when you think about the benefits of being an NFL owner. You have an asset or you have a product that continuously matures hand over fist year after year after year. Think about it. The salary cap is supposed to go up by what, 20 million or something like that this year?
Something like that.
Right? So all of and that's the salary cap is only a percentage of the profits that the NFL gets. Right? So when you think about how much money is being spread to these owners with these teams that they have, you can easily see why Jerry Jones doesn't really want to go get a head coach that is going to come in and want to take control and can take control and win. He wants to be the focus. You know why? Because since he's been the focus, the Cowboys have become the #1 franchise in the world. He has done such a masterful job marketing that team and pushing them out into the forefront of people's attentions in any sport, better than anybody else, right? And you think about where the Bills have been. Josh Allen is such a circus show, such a huge TV draw that of course the NFL wants him on TV. Of course the NFL wants them to win games. Of course the NFL wants them in the Super Bowl. But are they going to do enough around Josh Allen to make sure that they're winning? Because that's what the fans are concerned with. We're concerned with winning. And the owners seem to be concerned with making money. How else can you explain this lack of willingness to do whatever the heck is necessary to create a winner, right? The Sabres have been doing this for years. They got such a sweet core of players right now. It's unbelievable. I went to a game and watched these guys play, and Tage Thompson is just unbelievable, right? But when you think about the talent they have and where they should be versus where they are now, what's the problem? Are they not? You know what I mean? And I don't know if these questions get asked enough in the building by the owner. You look at what Philly's going through, and I keep coming back to this point. But Philly's done it. Tampa Bay's done it. They get fed up with losing. They see an opportunity to go win, and they go get it. They saw an opportunity to get Tampa saw an opportunity to get Brady. They went and they got it. Right? Not only that, but they had an offensive coach there with them in Bruce Arians that knew how to work with Tom Brady. Even though they ran two different systems, they knew how to work together, and they got it done within the first year of Tom Brady going to that team. Right? You look at what Philly has done. Philly's had 2 Super Bowl appearances in a 3-year span. right? So, I'm sorry, 4-year span. 2 Super Bowl appearances in a 4-year span, and they won one of those. Like, how crazy would this fan base be if we had 2 Super Bowl appearances in a 4-year span, and one of those we won?
I mean, we did have 4.
Yeah, four in a row, right? Back in the 90s. But again, you see how much craze that's instilled in the fans, and how much love that's built up in the fans of remembering what that was like, of going to 4 Super Bowls. Yeah, they lost, but we were in the biggest game of the season 4 years in a row. There is something to be said for that, right? But even at that point, it was like, okay, as an owner, like, what are we doing? Right? The only excuse I would give to those teams are free agency wasn't really that big of a thing back then. So it wasn't much that you could do, right? But even after those teams, I used to say this to you all the time. The Bills will never be good again until Ralph Wilson sells the team. Why? Because the owner is not interested in doing whatever it takes to win. He's not interested in going to get guys and putting them into place to make sure that we win. What he's interested in is that bottom dollar and making sure that he's keeping his brand viable for his children. And that's what happened. They were able to sell the team. They made a billion, what, billion?
1.2.
Yeah, 1.2, right? So that's, again, this is just from my observation of it. I don't think Pegula is really in this thing to win it. I think we would have seen changes made by now if that was the case.
So what did you see in my notes that you?
Thad Brown, man.
Oh, Thad Lewis. They said Thad Brown.
Yeah,
Thad Lewis.
Yeah. Thad Lewis interviewing for the OC job.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there because I've already gone there. I went there when we got Dorsey. I'm not, because you're gonna make me go there. Who was Thad Lewis? Thad Lewis wasn't it EJ Manuel's backup? Yeah. I mean,
who at times played better than EJ Manuel, but still
he ran better than EJ.
100%.
I remember he got cracked up in that Saints game.
Right.
That was it for him. But once again, it's like there's no direction. I've had the experiences of going at it with both of you guys about my vision of the offense and how I'll run it, this, that, and third. But at the same time, I'm sitting here, I'm like, is there not somebody out there that has innovation and somebody out there that's done it? I don't want to. I mean, is this a ploy to get Joe Brady to do something that we don't know? Is Joe Brady hotter than we think? I mean, I heard Joe Brady's pretty hot. He's hot in the streets.
Yeah.
But this doesn't threaten me if I'm Joe Brady.
Right.
And this is, I mean, Joe Brady's, you're looking at what? Jordan Love, who just went lights out in the playoffs. You're looking at, okay, the Giants, they don't have a quarterback. They're kind of in shambles right now because they have Isaiah Hodgins and Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones on the twilight of their Giants career, probably. And I just say Hodgins because that's the wide receiver that people in Buffalo are familiar with, the name. But Thad Lewis, man. I mean,
if you were Terry Pegula, would you mind throwing money at Eric Bieniemy?
I don't want to Eric Bieniemy. Honestly, I don't.
Really?
Yeah, I don't want him. Honestly, I don't.
That's surprising.
You don't think he's a good offensive coordinator?
With Sam Howell, I mean, it's skewed because they weren't good, but the talent dictated they're not good.
How about with Pat Mahomes?
Wait, hold on. Say that again, Key. What you say?
That dictated they're not good.
That dictated they're not good.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that they have Sam Howell as a quarterback dictated how their offense is going to go. It's basically what's going on.
Yeah, but I mean, compared to how Sam Howell played the year before and the numbers that the offense put up, I mean, it's a night and day difference, bro. Like, everybody talked about that all season long.
Wait, wasn't it? He's a rookie. He's a rookie.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, am I in college?
Yeah, in college.
In North Carolina?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's all right. So if he was good in North Carolina, I mean, he really wasn't that great.
I think that's what everybody's saying was like he wasn't playing nearly as well in college as he was, this past season.
So if I don't know. I didn't like what he did. I didn't like Sam Howell in the NFL.
But again, he's a rookie though. So like,
no.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
imagine what he could do.
To me, I don't have high expectations for rookie quarterbacks.
Right. No, stats wise,
Yep.
But I mean, when I look at his body of work and I look at his skill set,
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be anything special.
Okay, but again, this conversation ain't even about Sam Howell. We thinking about Eric Bieniemy's offense.
What did he?
And what he could do with Josh Allen.
What did he do in Washington? I'm being serious. I don't watch Washington.
So in Washington, they were terrible before he got there. Their
Offensively,
their offense was
Right.
legitimately like decent. Like Sam Howell, he had good passing numbers for a rookie quarterback. There was nothing, out of the ordinary or nothing crazy off the table, but he put up some good stats.
I don't want to go Washington. I'm
But dude, I would be interested to see what Eric Bieniemy do with Josh Allen in this offense. Like because think about it, like he had the best quarterback. He had Pat Mahomes, right? You saw what he did with him. So just imagine what he could do with Josh.
Well, see, that's my installation. And you guys can fight me on this. I don't care. But I mean, like he said a million times, ad nauseum, Andy Reid effect. I can't differentiate what Andy Reid did versus what Bieniemy did versus. I would have loved to have seen Bieniemy in Washington and getting rave reviews by the players and watching, maybe even a quarterback that was there so I could gauge what he was before and after. I'm not saying he's not good, but with our playoff window and the age of our team, me personally, I'm not big on Eric Bieniemy.
Are you just removing his influence on the Chiefs' offense?
I don't know what it was. Is what I'm saying. I have no idea what his influence was.
So okay, so let's try and connect the dots, right? This season, the Chiefs played under Matt Nagy as their offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say their pass offense looked pretty good?
No.
Right. Last season was Eric Bieniemy's last season there. If you put last season together with the Tyreek Hill seasons, the seasons where they had Hardman and they had Demarcus Robinson and all those boys, like Eric Bieniemy was pretty much there since day one with Andy Reid, right? So I guess what I'm asking you to do is to consider the way the Chiefs' offense has looked since the inception of the Andy Reid Mahomes era, and then compare that to what we've seen, even with Brian Daboll here. I think both of those offenses look good. Would you agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if I'm connecting those dots, then is it okay for me to say that based on that information that we have of what we've seen, might Eric Bieniemy benefit Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills as an offensive coordinator?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
Oh, you just fighting to say
No, I'm not, because what did we say? What did they say about Bieniemy out of Kansas City and Washington?
So I know in Washington they said they wasn't used to his aggressive-ness. Like he's an aggressive coach.
Right.
Like so when you mess it up, like he's gonna hammer you.
Right.
Like,
But
hey,
so
what
was
you doing?
Daboll.
Well, Daboll, the difference with Daboll and Bieniemy's situation would be this. Daboll walked in when Josh Allen was a relative nobody. He was a number 7 overall pick nobody. Now Josh Allen is a $258 million, I'm the man.
Right.
Now, the thing that we have working in our advantage, if you wanted to go the Bieniemy route, is Josh Allen's. And I'm not meaning this as an insult, but he's not an alpha man. So, Josh Allen is not the kind of guy, I don't think, unless he's completely different. And I've seen Josh Allen in person. I can tell you, he's not completely different.
Yeah.
If he's completely different and he will punch you in the face and he will get in your grill if you say the wrong thing to him, then okay, Bieniemy's definitely not the right choice.
Yeah, but Bieniemy was there for Mahomes too, and Bieniemy was part of the reason Mahomes got his deal.
Right, but what I'm saying is Mahomes, like you said, he was there part of the reason why he got his deal. Yeah. Mahomes wasn't Mahomes when Bieniemy started there. Bieniemy helped him groom. He helped groom him, right?
Basically, what he's saying is when he was there, Mahomes wasn't the guy yet.
He wasn't the number one
guy yet. He was just learning and trying to figure out.
Right.
He's trying to get on the field.
He sat for a year.
Yeah.
Right,
Right.
I get that. But I mean, Josh was forced to come in. If not for Nathan Peterman getting hurt,
right,
they would have did the same exact thing with Josh Allen.
That's nothing to the point. The point is, Josh Allen now, with Bieniemy walking in 2024, is the man. It don't matter how he got in the game.
What does that have to do with two grown men being able to sit in a room and figure out how to have a good offense?
If you have two egos, it's not going to work. Is what I'm saying.
So he's
Josh
saying
Allen
they
has
gonna
never been an
clash.
ego.
I'm not saying that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I said unless he's completely different. I said that's why it won't work if he has an ego.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but me personally, I to answer your question, I don't have an interest in Eric Bieniemy. No, I don't.
I still haven't heard a good reason why though.
Just because he can't differentiate the success that KC had. Was it because Andy Reid and Pat Mahomes, or was it because of Eric Bieniemy?
And so even with the offensive successes that he had in Washington, you still can't see it. Wow, defensive guy for sure. Okay, I mean that's fair. But
Let me even out. You're never gonna find. How can I say this? The Bill Belichick of offensive coordinators just floating out there, in terms of the greatest to ever do it. Mm-hmm. Just waiting to get into your office. But I mean, I don't know. I think from what I've heard, like Mel said, he's confrontational when he needs to be. Dayball was, yeah. And I'm just trying to, in my mind, trying to put together, one, how would this team have been if we are who we are and we got a coach that wants to come in and change everything with an iron fist? That's now if we had that rookie that Josh Allen in 2018, sure, why not? Yeah. But an old offense window is closing. Don't cancel us. I don't know. I mean, it's just me. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong. I'm not Terry Pagula. Right. I'm not Brandon Beane. I don't know. And then Eric Bieniemy with Sean McDermott.
So there's something to be said for having a mind to make moves when necessary, right? And I did some research on the Golden State Warriors, and you guys might have heard this this point made before to a smaller degree, but I kind of took it a step further, right? How long do you think the Warriors have been in the NBA for?
Golden State?
Mm-hmm.
Back when like Sprewell was in there.
I don't know. I don't remember when they got there. I know they were San Francisco.
But they weren't always in Golden State.
No, they were San Francisco.
They started off in
50s.
Philly.
Yeah, the 50s.
So they started off in Philly in 1946.
Well, they weren't even NBA then. NBA started in 48.
Okay.
Was that ABA?
No, that was something else.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I don't know what that was. 46. I don't know what league that was, but
okay.
Either way, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, they were
Founded,
founded.
they were like yeah.
Right, they were founded in 1946. Do you guys know what their record is all time?
They were pretty bad for a while.
They were very bad for a long time. Their all-time record was 2,941 and 3,120.
What's the percentage? No.
Yeah, I could do that if you want. I could calculate.
Don't worry
now.
about it. I'm gonna drink on that if you do that.
Now, you guys remember who their head coach was in 2011, right?
Mark Jackson.
Mark Jackson. Okay. You guys remember what happened to Mark Jackson 3 years later?
He got fired.
He got fired.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mark Jackson, as a head coach, since Mark Jackson was hired, at that point, the Warriors had only recorded 2 winning seasons and 1 playoff appearance between 1994 and 2012. That's it. That's the most success that they had seen all time.
When your center's Alton Lister, I mean, what do you expect?
Huh?
When your center's Alton Lister, what do you expect?
Okay, I don't know who that is, but all right. So
Chris Gatling. Ugh.
Mark Jackson's record as coach of the Warriors was 121 and 109. His win percentage was 526. Mm-hmm. Okay, so slightly better than 500. He was fired in 2014. Mm-hmm. I happen to know the circumstances of why he was fired now. I just learned that today, actually. But
Really?
It's very interesting, yeah. I'll tell you about it after.
I know what it is.
Oh, the owners?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So, so after Mark Jackson was fired, they hired a guy named Steve Kerr in 2014. Steve Kerr's all-time record with the Warriors is 483 and 257. His win percentage is .652, well over 500. And he's won 4 championships with the team. Okay? Comparatively, Sean McDermott is 78 and 47 at all time as Bills head coach. Now, you would say that's good. That's great, right?
That's
It's
good.
awesome.
That's real good.
That's a win percentage of 624. That's well
good.
over 500. Okay, cool. Without Brian Daboll as his offensive coordinator, we're talking about an elite offensive coordinator. Never mind the head coach. Elite offensive coordinator. Without Daboll,
Rich, raise your cup.
Sean is 44 and 32. His win percentage is .578, just a little bit better than Mark Jackson.
Right.
Okay? With Daboll's offense, the Bills are 34 and 15 for a win percentage of .693. Okay? My point is this. The numbers bear out that our head coach is a slightly above 500 head coach when he doesn't have an elite play caller running his offense. What we have to look at in terms of future outlook is how often are we going to find on a regular basis, or I would, let's say every 3 years, an elite offensive coordinator that can give us these types of these types of numbers, these types of win percentages, right? That percentage is not that high. Most of those guys now are on other teams and about to become head coaches somewhere else. I just heard something today that Ben Johnson is might become the head coach of Washington, right? So he's gone. The only guy that's left out there right now is Bobby Sloak if people want him.
Yeah, where's he going? Where's the interview? No, go ahead.
Okay.
I don't know.
So here's my point.
I forgot I had a mic.
If we're trying to find grounded, realistic, hard evidence of the situation that we're in, we need only look at the Golden State Warriors. Okay? Eventually, they got to a point where slightly above 500 wasn't good enough. Even though Mark Jackson was the best head coach they had all time before Steve Kerr. It took him 3 years to figure out, we got to do something different. They made a change, right? It took Philly 1 year of seeing Doug Peterson in a down year. After he won the Super Bowl 2 years prior, it took him 1 down year. Out the door.
And slow interview with Washington and Seattle.
I wouldn't be surprised if we get that Seattle job.
They had somebody else I saw a name.
Really?
Yeah,
I don't want people to lose sight of the reality of this Bills team right now. We're going into a season where we are already $50 million over the cap. 50. We got $70 million tied up in Von Miller, Stephon Diggs, and Trey White alone going into next season.
It was Dan Quinn.
He ain't gonna get that. Cowboys will keep Dan Quinn.
I don't know why you know all this stuff. You got a whole bunch of stuff rattling around in your head.
No, I know Jerry Jones.
I don't even know who Dan Quinn is.
Oh, he's a defensive coordinator for the Cowboys.
Well, yeah. I mean, when you said Cowboys, I knew who he was, but when I saw the name, I was like, I don't know who that is.
Right. But yeah, man, it bothers me. It bothers me, and I'm starting to become more upset with Pegula than I am Sean McDermott, because at the end of the day, Sean is going to do what's best for Sean, which is staying here in Buffalo and coaching the team. You can't blame him for wanting things the way that he wants them and having the control that he's been given the opportunity to have. I think any coach in the league would jump at an opportunity to have that with Josh Allen here. right? I think Sean was the only one that didn't that jumped at it when Josh Allen wasn't here. All we had was Tyrod Taylor and who else? Who backed up Tyrod?
Wasn't it Peterman?
No, it was
It was
Peterman.
Peterman.
Okay.
Because remember, that was the whole fiasco with the Chargers game when he threw all them picks. And they had to put Tyrod back in,
Yep.
and then he
They
gets
pulled
into the
him.
wild card.
Oh, that's right. They did bench Tyrod.
I don't think he ever finished the game. He never finished it. Played the whole game for the Bills.
No,
Peterman.
He never finished the whole
He
game.
started, but he
He was the preseason quarterback. That's
was
what he
good,
was.
man.
Oh yeah, he was a beast in
He-
preseason.
he had the
owns
song and everything.
preseason.
Remember the Peterman can song?
Regular season, he just couldn't get it done, man. But so I got a question. Before this year, has any of y'all ever heard of Slowick?
Before this year?
Yep.
No.
Nope.
So my point is, I think it's easier to find those elite offensive coordinators than it is to get head coaches,
Why do you say that?
because before Mahomes came in there, I didn't know who Eric Bieniemy was. I know who he is now.
But you knew who
I know
Andy Reid was, though, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So I didn't know who Ben Johnson was. I didn't know who Bobby Slowick was. Like all these offensive coordinators, I even know who Brian Daboll was. Like all these offensive coordinators are coming out of the woodwork, like out of nowhere. Like I think they have the mind and capability. They just need the opportunity to prove what they can do. So I think it's easier to find offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators versus a head coach.
Yeah. Especially if it's not a guy that's going to be, an overseer.
Right.
You know, if you want a guy that I'll call him a meddler. You want a guy that meddles in one side or the other or both. That's and has a knowledge of how to do it. That's hard to find. But like you said, a specific offensive or defensive coordinator, and there's 2 jobs per team, 64 jobs versus 32 jobs. Yeah, it's tougher to find a quality coach.
What I don't like though is how quick they try to take. That's what I don't like. Like I understand from the person's point of view, because of course you want the higher job, you want the upgrade. You know what I'm saying? You want the promotion. Who wouldn't? But my issue is you got these guys, and as soon as they hot, you want to put them in a head coaching job. Like let them stay hot as their offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator. Like let them keep going.
I got married. Yeah, I got.
Like let them get the experience. Like let them be like, all right, yeah. Because guess what? Next year, now people gonna plan for that. How are you gonna move for that? Now they know what you're gonna do. What you gonna do about it?
They did that with Dayball too. Like people were looking at possibly hiring Dayball in 2021, right? But he didn't leave for a head coaching job until 2022. So I think they do that. I'll be honest. I don't think Slowick's going to get a head coaching job this season. Not just off of one season.
That's what I'm saying.
Success.
Like it's 1 year, and they're like, oh yeah, we're going to interview head coach.
Yeah.
Like you don't even know if he could be a head coach.
If it was
Yeah,
me,
but
okay.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say if it was me, and I'm kind of in that situation with my job, with one of my jobs. That sounds pathetic.
What about that?
Everybody, you can be a
streams of
manager. You can
income.
be a manager. You can be a manager. Be a manager. You can do it. I know you can do it, but I'm very good at what I do.
Right.
And the money I make at what I do, and my earning power at what I do is better to me than the flame out as the head coach should. Everybody don't think that way.
That's
but.
a little different. Real quick, Bazek, he writes in.
Oh, what's up?
Yeah. He writes in, it is disheartening to see all the moves being made in interviews around the NFL and hear nothing. And then he also wrote in, and Bean comes in on his press conference and says, we know we will lose players, have no money, and we'll be looking at 1 year contracts. Right. I think so. I want to say I want to say this to your point, Mel. When I hear you guys talk about the I guess the overall theme of what you guys are saying is, okay, it's easy to say fire him, but who are you going to replace him with? And there's a lot of people saying that, and while it is a logically sound standpoint to take, I think
Those fighting words.
I think that's fine. I think what that sets up is, like, to me, that's the equivalent of everybody telling Napoleon, or not Napoleon, Columbus, it's not worth it. We don't know what's out there. You could die. And him deciding, okay, you know what? You're right. I am going to stay here. I'm not going to go, discover America. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying he discovered America. Please don't send me any comments about he didn't. I know.
Well, no, I mean, the reason why I said those fighting words is because that's not really where I'm going. What I'm getting at, and I mean, you're right. because that's the other side of where I am. Kind of what I'm getting at is like look at Nick Saban, all-time greatest college coach. What happened when he was in Miami? He was trash.
Yep.
He got that blemish on his record. Now, if he would have stayed in college,
Yep.
I mean that's. Sometimes we even said it. We said it on the show before Mac even joined the show. We said everybody ain't meant to do this thing here,
Right.
And that's, I mean, if you strike while the iron's hot, yeah, you're right. But at the same time, if you want longevity, if you want your name to be a household name and everybody wants you,
I'm a cup check you right now.
And then
how many shots a game Curry take?
Curry. I don't know.
Probably like
20, 24.
And how many does he make?
All of them.
we definitely
He's probably about 40%. So what's that?
So he misses 60% of the shots he takes.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying, right? So by your logic, he should stop shooting.
No,
That's my point.
he can't stop shooting because he's
That's
a
my
shooter.
point, because he's an elite shooter, and even at 40%, he's still better than everybody else in the league right now shooting the ball.
And he's also
But-
a contested
but
shooter as well.
The other side of that point is Steph Curry. It's not Joe Blow doing the same thing. Like
And-
No, I
thing
get
is,
that. I'm not
this is
saying.
the thing.
I'm not saying everybody should just shoot the ball and keep shooting. You know, like I get it. Everybody's not going to have the accuracy of a Steph Curry, but there are other shooters in the league, are there not? There JJ Redick was a great shooter. There's I don't know who the shooters in the league are now.
Damian
Lillard, Trae Young.
Right. My point is this. Everybody may not come in and be, Sean McVay. Everybody may not come in and be Kyle Shanahan, but they may come in and be Zach Taylor. I would say Zach Taylor is not as good an offensive coordinator as a Sean McVay or a Kyle Shanahan, but he turned that franchise around and they made a Super Bowl appearance, right? So what I'm saying is, I don't want us to have the mindset of, don't try because we've seen it fail so many times. I'm saying we need to have the mindset of, let's keep trying, because when we hit, it's gonna be great.
So but you're on the other side though. You're talking from the boss's perspective. You're gonna keep trying. You're gonna keep trying. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
but I'm talking about from the employees' perspective.
No,
you're
forget
not
all that.
But we're talking about OCs. That was Mel's point. We're talking about OCs.
I'm talking about the people that hire the OCs.
So my whole thing with the head coach, I don't have that notion that for the head coach, like, if we get rid of him, who we gonna hire? I'm not worried about that.
Nah.
My thing is this: if you look at historically all the great coaches, your Shulas, your Belichick's, your Andy Reids, all these guys. What I'm saying is, if you look at their career when they started to when they finished, they didn't. It took them a long time to get that one Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. So I'm saying, don't give up on the guy yet, because we don't know. I'm not saying that he is, but if you fire him, he might go somewhere else and win 4 or 5 Super Bowls. It's possible.
Yeah, but
or on the flip side, let's say we do fire him, bring somebody else in here, still don't make it. Now there's 3 years past. Now we fired another guy. We get another guy. Like, we have to, like, I hate to say it, but we have to get to a point where the Bills might not win a Super Bowl in your lifetime. It might not ever happen.
Speak for yourself, brother.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm being real. Like,
I can't accept that though. Like
but this is the thing though. You put those. You have the expectation of, this is what I want. You set the bar up here. If you don't get it, now you're always pissed off. You're always mad because you set the bar way up here. Like, to me personally, I don't do that. Like, I don't set the bar up. Oh, Super Bowl or bust. I like football. It's my favorite sport. So whether the Bills go 0-6, 0-16, or 16-0, I'm still riding with. I'm still cheering. I don't get excitement in what they win. I get excited in watching football and watching my team play.
I just cry a lot.
You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, if they never win a Super Bowl, who cares?
Well, let me ask you this to that point though. Let me ask you, because I know A. Festering. I might hit on it a little bit because we talked about it last show when I talked about UB. Trash. I go there, sunny day, spend time on. I know they're going to lose. Trash. But, you got the Bills, you got Josh Allen. You've seen the promised land. You've seen it. You didn't. It's right there. I mean, after a while, it's like Super Bowl or bust. It's Super Bowl or bust because we know where we are. We are right. Now, if we had Fitzmagic again, I would be a season ticket holder, and I'd be up in that mud losing my crap buying $15 beers, just knowing it's a sunny day.
Yeah.
Because we here, I want to get there.
I am too. Like I hear you
Yeah,
because
yeah.
like I think to me in my mind, I think we got one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the NFL. To me, the 3 best right now, Jackson, Mahomes, and Allen, all day long.
Yeah, okay.
But in that same conversation, you got your Brady's,
Hell yeah.
your Mannings, your Drew Breeses.
Yep.
Now, I was a huge Drew Brees fan, but Peyton Manning, I like Peyton Manning. My man been in the league so many years, he got 2 Super Bowls out of it. He's an elite quarterback. Arguably, you could say he was better than Tom Brady because he ran his own offense. He didn't even need an offensive coordinator. I don't care who the offensive coordinator is.
He ran the Omaha offense.
You know what I'm saying? He ran his plays. He called what he ran that offense, and he got a Super Bowl on 2 different teams.
Yeah.
But he been in the league for almost like 18 years. He only got 2 out of it.
Yeah.
Josh is what? This is what, his 5th year?
7th
He's
coming
going
up.
into his 7th year next year.
Like,
27.
who knows? Like, Josh might wind up playing 20 years. He might only win 2 Super Bowls. He might only win 1. He might not win none.
Nah, he gonna
Okay,
win
but
one.
like
He gonna win one,
you're
man.
saying that as if we're supposed to let the status quo go and just roll the dice and see if he wins one within these next 20 years. Like, there are things that as an owner you can do. There's things that as a head coach you can do. There's things as a team that you can do to increase your chances. On top of that, my main point is this. The reason I get so pissed off about this team is because they just took $1.6 billion of my tax money to go build a new stadium that I got to pay for and go watch my team lose. I think not, good sir.
Well, then
I'm
don't-
not about to sit here
Then
and
don't
pay
be a
good
Bills
money on a
fan.
regular. Huh?
Don't be a Bills fan then.
He said, "Good sir."
Why be a Bills fan? That's what
Why
I'm
be a fan of any team that's going to consistently lose?
because it's not about winning or losing. It's
Yes,
about
it
the love
is.
of the game.
Listen, these guys.
It's about the love of the game.
Talk to the players about that. You think the players like losing?
Well,
Oh,
no.
okay, so hold up. Gilbert Arenas on an interview, he said if they asked him, "Hey, if you could do it all again, would you want a ring?" Over his contract, he said, "Heck no." He said, "I'm not taking a ring over a $30 million contract." You kidding me?
That's one player. Not everybody thinks that way.
True, but some people do.
Yeah.
Again, I can understand that that's you guys' perspective. I don't buy it, and I can't live by that.
So
I
every
can't.
year you're
I
gonna be
can't.
pissed off. Every year you're gonna go through this whole thing, and you don't have to because
It
you
ain't
ain't got
just
to
me.
sign up
It
there.
ain't just me.
I'ma bring
Boz XE
Pepsi,
writes
too.
in. Boz XE writes in. When do you say enough is enough? How many years are we gonna have to wait until Josh Allen can't run no more to put a team around him that can win a Super Bowl?
Hey, I'm just saying, when the Bills lose, I'm good. I'm not upset. It is what it is because I don't set the bar that high.
I think I am upset. No, I get it. I get it
Then
because
what's the
I'm
point
like
of even
that.
watching?
Because I like football.
Right. I like Buffalo.
I'm a fan.
But I
of
get that
football,
because
a fan of the game.
because it's the same person. I'm the same kid that never played with another team on Madden. I'm the same kid that couldn't tell you who any of these other players you guys talk about half the time are because I only care about the Bills. When the Bills go off on Sunday, Tio tell you, I ain't watching no more. I don't care.
That's it.
I don't watch national. I don't care about Kirk. I don't care about.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Lamar because he was fun, but I couldn't care less about NFL. But when the Bills are playing, bet money, bottom dollar. You guys can attest. I have called in sick. Yes, I have called in sick to watch Bills games. This is during the Fitzmagic years. You knew they were going to lose.
Yeah.
I was low. Man, I was doing my job with earbuds in. Illegal at my job. When Fitz beat the Patriots, T called me, tears in her eyes. I'm doing my job. I stopped what I was doing to share in the joy because it's a Buffalo thing. It's. You're right. You're right. But that goes into had we not had a Josh, had we not had 17 plus 14 equals 6, had we not had, you would still be a Bills fan because you were a Bills fan when Fitz was here.
Yeah, but my entire Bills life has been trying to get back to the 90s and get to a Super Bowl. I want to see that in my lifetime.
I mean, that would be beautiful. Oh, yeah, for sure. For
Right.
sure.
So that's what I'm saying. Like every single person in this room and every single person watching this episode right now and every single person that's going to watch this in the future and every single person in this city right now would answer the question, hell yeah, do I want to get to a Super Bowl? Hell yeah, do I want to win a Super Bowl? Right? Like, to me, that's the whole point behind being a fan of a team is to see them win. It's not just to watch them play, it's to see them win. And furthermore, if it's a professional team that can bring to my city monetary benefits of winning, right? You got friggin' Taylor Swift coming to Kansas City on a regular basis. You don't think that brings money to Kansas City? I mean, honestly, you got Detroit in the NFC Championship game. Sure. You don't think Eminem going to those games brings money to Detroit? Like all of that stuff. What I'm saying is the politics behind teams that win, the politics and the money behind winning brings to the city a level of life that it's never experienced before. And I live in a city that I want to be great. I live in a city that I want to be recognized for being great. I live in a city that has been the top 3 in poverty percentage and bottom 3 in what am I looking for? In wages. For I don't know how many years. Like what else? Like I can't be okay with sitting in mediocrity. I've been through it for 20 years. Like, enough is enough for me, honestly. Like, yeah, the team has been good for the last 6 years. Have I enjoyed the ride? To a degree, yes. I don't like going into work depressed after we lose a 13 seconds game and seeing everybody around me not even knowing what to say, barely wanting to say hi to each other because they don't know if it's going to come out the right way. I don't like seeing that. But that's the hold that this Bills team has on this city. And if it's like that, and we have to say to ourselves, okay, well, the Bills are just going to lose and we're going to have to be okay with it, then just let the Bills go play in another city.
No,
like,
I don't,
we don't need a team.
Or like I said, don't set the bar so high.
Mel, I get what you're saying in
like
terms
I said,
of expectations, but for me, that's something that you do in relationships, not with sports teams. When you're talking about having an expectation of wanting to win a Super Bowl, every other team in the league has that expectation. Every head coach in the league has that expectation. Every owner will tell you that they want to win a Super Bowl, right? But what it really boils down to is this. As an owner, as a head coach, as a position coach, are you going to do whatever it takes to do that? What it really boils down to is the level of desire and commitment to doing that. And I'm not saying that, Sean McDermott doesn't desire to do it, but is he willing to change himself enough to meet the need of the team in order to do that? Is the owner willing to pay whatever it takes to give Sean McDermott an elite play caller every single time the one they have leaves so that we can continue to have offensive success? If we are stuck with Sean McDermott, then let's do the best damn job we possibly can at making sure that we get all of the best offensive minds on the offensive side of the ball as we can. Damn all of the let's just hire this guy who he's cool with Sean McDermott and let's see how it goes. Let's just hire this guy that knows Josh Allen and let's see how that goes. I can't be okay with that. And if we're talking about expectations, every team's expectation in the league is as high as mine.
Sure. And then guess what? Every year there's 31 teams that's disappointed every year.
Right.
31 teams. So
that doesn't mean they have to be okay with it.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there's a possibility that the Bills may never win one. So you mean to tell me if that happens, you're going to be the pissed off fan about football for the rest of your life? You don't even hear about, don't talk to me about football. I hate football. Like, why set yourself up like that? Don't even do that.
I don't hate football. I love football. My point is not that I hate. Like,
you hate losing.
Right. I hate losing. I do 100%. But anybody who's competitive hates losing.
But guess what? Anybody who wins knows that losing is part of it.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, why have the expectation of, we got to win the Super Bowl? If we don't win the Super Bowl, then we failed. The
mindset that you just talked about of part of the game is losing is how you get over losing. Like that's what you say to yourself to get over a loss. But that ain't something that you tout before you lose. You don't go into a game saying, "Hey guys, listen, if we lose today, we just have to understand losing is part of the game." Like nobody goes into a game saying that. Everybody goes into the game saying, "We about to whoop their ass. We about to do this. We about to take this championship. Let's get to let's do it." Like to me, I get it. But you're not going to convince me that it's okay to lose.
I'm not trying to convince you. I'm just saying it's the reality.
It's not the reality.
It is. Patrick Ewing was a great player. Never won a ring. He's got to live with that. He's okay with it. He was one of the best centers ever.
Golden State
but he never
Warriors were terrible for years and years and years.
See how he
and
just
they did not settle for
acknowledge
Mark
what I
Jackson.
said
They
at
went
all.
one step further, and they got Steve Kerr. And what did they do? They've been the team of the decade for the last 10 years.
So what I'm saying, if they do all that, we do everything that you say, get the best guy, and you still don't win, then what?
Then we didn't have. There has to be a reason why, though. Like there has to be
What if we
context
never-
to
I
it.
guess
Who
Mel's
cares
saying,
what the
what if we
reason
never
why
find
is?
it? I guess what if we never find it? We
That's what I'm
hire, we
saying.
fire,
But
we do all this stuff.
I've never like that's a pessimistic mindset. That's a defeatist mindset. Like what if we never like again? I bring it back to the Columbus conversation. What if he never went to discover America?
Somebody else would have
what-
did.
Huh?
Somebody else would have. That's what I'm. It's the
That's
reality.
that's not the point. Whether or not somebody else would have did it, had Columbus had that mindset, maybe nobody would have. Like I could just as easily say, if Columbus never did it, maybe nobody else would be brave enough to do it because at the time Columbus was the bravest one to do it. Like you're adding what ifs to the to the situation as much as you're trying to take away my what ifs.
Amerigo Vespucci. That's who did it. And I'm about to take a shot.
Listen, I'm just saying, and the reality of the situation is there's NFL teams who's never even been to Super Bowl, a.k.a. the Detroit Lions. Like, it is what it is.
They're
been
a game away, bro. They're further than we are. Why did you even bring that up? They're further than we are right now. They're in the championship game.
Who cares?
What do you mean? I care.
That's the problem.
No, it's not the problem. I'm watching a team in Detroit that won their first playoff game in 30 some odd years and is now in the championship game because they followed the wave of getting a guy who understands how to build a good offense and understands how to work with a good young quarterback and got his team to an NFC championship within 3 years. And Sean McDermott has only done it once, and it took him 4. And we haven't been back since, and we got the second best quarterback in the league, if not the best.
Okay, so like I
Like,
said.
how good is Jared Goff?
So,
How good is Jared Goff?
so-
Like, you can't
so-
tell me Josh Allen shouldn't have been there over Jared Goff.
Okay, so fire McDermott, get somebody else in there. And
Right.
and if we still don't get it, then what?
That's
Fire
the-
him
that-
too.
That's not.
Next
that's
guy
not-
come
that's
in.
not- that's
Next
not
guy
the
come
way of
in.
the league.
Coach is in there
That's
for
not the
5
way of the
years.
league.
Fire him. Next guy comes in. Get in here.
Sean
No
McVay's
Super
been
Bowl.
twice.
Fire him. Get rid of him.
Sean McVay's been twice. Zach Taylor's been once. Kyle Shanahan's been twice. Who else are the other offensive? Andy Reid's been 3 times. Like, what are we talking about? Every good offensive coordinator that's become a head coach over the last 10 years has made it to a Super Bowl.
Dan Campbell was 3-13 his first year in Detroit.
Right. That's fine.
He was 9-8 in second year, and this year 12-5.
Right. He did it in 3 years.
Yeah. Well,
That's
I mean,
what I'm
he
saying.
caught
Like
fire.
every team that's had a good offensive coordinator that's become a head coach and gotten a good young quarterback with him, they've gone.
But
and
what
what
I'm
have we
saying
done?
is he may not win the Super Bowl.
It doesn't matter. Can I go to a Super Bowl?
Just want to get there.
Can I go to a Super Bowl?
What's
You
the
know
point? Okay, so if you go, is that would that relieve that itch? Oh, we've been there. Okay,
No,
fine. I can say I've been
obviously
there.
I want to win it. Obviously I want to win it. Obviously I want to win
That's what I'm
it.
saying.
Obviously I want to win it. But at the very least, can we go?
I'd be mad different if that was me. I would be mad different because you don't want me to see my team go to Super Bowl and lose. You don't want to see it.
I mean,
because
listen,
my
we did
mentality
it 4
would be
times
so
in a
different.
row.
Huh?
I said we did it 4
Well,
times
yeah,
in a row. Like, ask
I was
everybody how
6,
they
7, 8, and 9. So I mean, but I mean, the thing is, with my mentality now, if you're not gonna give it to me, don't let me see it. Yeah. That's how I feel. If you're not gonna give it to me, don't let me see it, because I will obsess, and I do. I'm telling you.
Yeah, but my mindset is if you show it to me and you're not gonna give it to me, I'm gonna find a way to get it.
Well,
period.
Well, yes and no. I mean, I get that because that's how you're supposed to think. But when I say, if you're gonna look at it like this, and this is gonna go dark for a minute. If your wife or your girlfriend is pregnant, and I'm gonna say this, nobody in here I don't think is expecting. I hope. I'm too old, but
Never.
okay, producer, you're safe too. But when they're pregnant and you start anticipating, you start falling in love, you're obsessing now. If my baby's gonna die in childbirth, or if they're gonna die shortly, don't even give them to me, because I don't want to see it.
I see what you're saying.
That's the way that's not saying that's how you should think, but I'm saying that when I say what I say, that's not to dispute what you're saying, but that's how I think about it.
What you're talking about is it's better to never have loved and lost than to love at all. Like that's
Better never,
I'm sorry,
never
yeah,
lost.
it's better,
Never
it's better
loved.
never to have
Didn't
loved
love
than
and
to,
lost.
than to have loved and lost, right?
Yes.
I get that, but to me, that's
Hogwash.
it is. It
This
is.
man,
Like
he
it's
poo-pooed all over me.
I respect you. I respect you. You know I love
I
you.
know.
You know I love both of y'all. You know I love y'all. I can't agree with that mindset because if you don't venture and you don't adventure, you never learn anything. And if you never adventure with the purpose of learning and getting better and eventually achieving the goal, and your mindset is to just enjoy the experience of whatever comes and never trying to take what you've learned and adapt and get better and win, then what is the point of living?
No,
So,
I think
so.
go ahead.
I think that's where we get the disconnect at. I'm not saying don't have that mentality. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, hey, guess what? You can have that mentality and still not make it. You got to be okay with both ends of the spectrum. If I try this and I work, man, I did it. But if I don't, you got to be okay with it because guess what? There's some people who have that mentality, and because they don't get it, they wind up taking themselves out, or they wind up going like their life is flipped upside down because they haven't achieved this thing that they was looking to get.
Okay, so that makes sense if my team is visibly doing everything that they possibly can to win and it's just not working.
See,
I can accept when I've given everything that I have and I don't win. I can accept that.
Right.
I can accept when my children do the absolute best on the test and only get an 80.
Right.
That's okay. Come here, baby. I still love you. It's all good.
Right.
So I'm with you on that. I can understand that. But
Right.
what I'm saying is, based on what the Bills have done, they have not done their absolute best.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
And I go with that. I go with that.
Yeah, so I can't watch a team say to me, we want to win and we want to be great and we want to, we want to. Right. Demaryius Johnson TV writes in, live to the fullest or don't live at all. Exactly right.
And the thing is, I think too, me and Miller come in from a different perspective than you, in the sense that you're talking more of being in control of something. We're just at the mercy of watching.
Right.
So
yeah, but everybody's in control. Like that's what I'm saying. Like everybody in life, and this is outside of football now. We talking about real life. Like everybody in life has control, right? God gave us choice.
No,
right?
I get that. I get
Like,
that. But what I'm saying is, I'm talking about in the actual running of the team. I can't call one Bills driver and say fire him, and it happens.
No,
Can't do it.
but we can use this platform and get enough followers to make enough noise to make it happen.
But
What do you think Philly's been doing?
But if Terry says I don't care, because like you said, he's not care about winning. He's looking at the money price. Like he might not never do it.
Okay. I like.
No,
might never do it.
and this is this.
D,
no, I get no.
you
See,
want me to
this
call
is
you?
my point.
Like,
This is my point.
My pops played the game. Like he
I get
played
what
the game.
I get what you're saying, and what I'm getting at is we hear you, and I understand you, but what we're trying to explain is how we think. Mel. You know Mel's that.
I'm
fan.
not saying I don't understand how y'all
No,
think. Like you trying to
I
explain
don't.
to me?
No, I'm not trying to.
I
I'm not
just
yelling at
don't
you.
agree. I just don't
I know
agree.
you don't.
Oh, okay. Well, what are you saying?
I know you don't. Hey!
Everybody taking virtual drinks of Pepsi. That's fine.
But no, seriously, no. But no, we wouldn't be here. I got 16 pages of notes, people. 16 legit pages of notes. If you don't believe me, watch this. Hey, confirm it. Confirm it. What do you see right here?
Oh, yeah, 1 of 16. Yeah.
16. Look at all this.
4,228 words.
These are words. Any pictures?
That. Yeah, that one.
It's a what is this, News 13?
Yeah.
But these are words. This is me putting hours of research into this thing.
But how can so what you're saying is you can do all of this, and when the Bills show what they showed in that playoff game, and actually no. Let me ask you this: if you were doing all this work for the UB Bulls, because you said you diehard UB Bulls fan, right? So if you were doing all of this stuff, trying to figure out why the UB Bulls weren't winning, trying to figure out what they were doing, you had people, feeding you information as to what was going on behind the scenes and why things are happening, why things ain't happening, and stuff like that. You would still be okay buying season tickets?
Hey, man. Yeah, I would. I would. And,
I mean, that's like, okay.
But see, okay. Look, I'll meet you in the middle here. After the 2008 season, the first bowl berth, when they came out in 2009 and they looked not the same as 2008, I was pissed off. But at the same time, me and my uncle like, yo, what the F? My uncle don't curse. Sorry. So I said it in my head because I don't curse in front of him either. But like I said before, I saw it now. I want it again. My Nuggets. I almost put a hole in the wall last night because 2 Nuggets scored double figures last night against the Knicks. We lost by almost 40 points.
But it's okay if they lost. Why are you punching walls?
Well, this is my point. This is where I'm drawing it where you are.
Okay.
Because I've seen it. They don't suck. They're not that 10 and 72 team that I used to watch. Mm-hmm. So now we got the chip. We don't lose. No disrespect to the Knicks. We don't lose to the Knicks, to people like that, by 40 points.
Right. Because your expectation level has gone up.
Right. And
that's
and
based
that's
on
where
the
I'm with you.
performance of the team.
That's where I am.
Okay.
And
So I think right. So to your point, the Bills have caused us all to raise our expectations the second they made it to an AFC Championship game, right? Since that point, we've been trying to get back to that point, and I am not okay with the moves that they've made in that effort so far. And because I'm not okay with the moves that they've made so far, because I've seen other teams make better moves, and I've seen the Bills have opportunities to make better moves and not choose to do that. That's what's caused me the grief. That's what's caused me to be in this mindset of we need change.
And that's
to me that should be okay. Like I should be able to look at someone's performance and say, you know what? I've seen too many instances outside of this building of other people doing the same job and doing it better, and I've given you chance after chance after chance after chance, and it hasn't worked out. I got to make a change. Real quick, Damaris Johnson TV writes in, and that's why they don't have to give everything. Folk going to keep buying tickets. It's a business. That's absolutely right. Mm-hmm. Like they feed off of people who are just okay watching the team. As long as they have a majority of people in the city who are just okay watching the team and don't really need the team to win, they're going to keep taking our money. I'm tired of paying tax. Like I don't have a choice. I don't have a say in the matter for how, for my tax money going to the team. They get it anyway, right? And that's what frustrates me is I don't have a choice to pay for this team. I have to anyway because they're taking it out of my tax money. Mm-hmm. So whether I want to support the team or not, I am. So if that's the case, I want to be able to hold them accountable. It's the same as any other politician that runs for office in the city. At some point, they got to be accountable to the people who are paying the bills, their supporters. Right? You can't there's no politician that gets into office and their supporters then pay for their campaign and stuff like that. And whenever their supporters say, "Hey, we need this policy to look like this," and the politician says, "Nah, I don't want to do that." Like, okay, well, fine, I'll take my money somewhere else. That person ain't gonna stay there and keep supporting the person that ain't gonna be a benefactor to them. Like that's just the way of the world. So why would I want to continue paying tax money towards a team that isn't interested in what I'm interested in? If they're not willing to do whatever it takes to win, I wish I could take my money and go somewhere else. But what that means for me is I got to move out of the city. Mm-hmm. So you telling me in order for me to rectify my situation in my line of thinking, I got to move out of my city? Mm-hmm. Like that's crazy to me. I can't jive with that. That don't sit right with me.
I mean, you got to move out of New York State because you only paying for however you go in the
Right,
state.
right. That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, I mean,
I got to start jumping, state to state just to, find a team that's willing to like.
Well, it's not even. I'm just talking about on the political side. I'm thinking about taxes, the state taxes of here. Some states, Florida don't have state tax.
You don't hear people talk about that enough.
That's because we accepted it.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. We know it's part of life. We don't see it. I don't. When people ask me how much do you make, I don't even know how much I make before taxes. I don't care because it's
whatever your paycheck is, it's probably double.
Right. Right.
That's very deep.
I don't want to press myself.
Right.
I don't care.
Right.
But to your point, and I actually had it in my notes, and this was I got about 23 minutes left. But to your point, I think I might have texted you guys about it, or maybe I tweeted. I don't know where I put it, but I put it somewhere. Are you guys tired? Mel, actually, I know you are, so this is a question more for you. Are you tired of consistency? Are you tired of just hires for consistency's sake? When Josh says, I put my stamp of approval on Brady because what he did last year. I put my stamp on Dorsey because what he did last year. We want to hire it because of what we know. When it's not working, like you said, it's obviously not working. Not saying it can't work, and that's kind of why when we talked about the draft and stuff, I said I think that they have what it takes to be elite, but they're not. Yeah. And that's kind of where I was going. I think they have the talent, but something's just not clicking with who we have in the building. So, do you think that it's time to change that up in terms of, maybe somebody with another thought process, another innovation, maybe even your Airbnb?
So, like, I don't care if Josh Allen do say he signed off on this guy. You know, we can bring somebody else on anyway.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, man. Like, here's the thing. Here's another thing that people might not like. But you said Josh Allen saying, "Oh yeah, I signed off on this." So what did that tell you about him?
Yeah, and that's
right.
So
that's what I'm saying. So like, I know everybody want to win, but if the players on the team and the owners and the coaches don't have the same mindset.
Right.
But that goes to your point too, because you talked about having someone who knows something about football, that can relay information or just take over for Pegula. Right. And I think that's going to be the saving grace for the team if Pegula decides to allow something like that. Real quick, Damaris Johnson TV writes in, the problem is if people stop buying tickets, they'll threaten to leave. Like to me, and that's exactly right, because we've seen that twice. During the Ralph Wilson era, and then obviously when we weren't getting a whole bunch of offers from people to buy to wait once before we got the Canada deal, and then once again when Trump and Bon Jovi and all them were trying to buy the team.
It's been 3 times then, because you got to remember they just threatened us with the Amarillo when they wouldn't give them the stadium. They threatened that.
Oh wow!
Or Austin, or wherever
right.
it was.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
If you don't give us this,
three separate times the team is threatened to leave when we don't, pay for something that a billionaire should be able to pay for on, within his own organization. But I think again, to your point that you made before, which is great because it would solve a lot of this, is having a football guy at the top, a president of football operations that can act as a go between Beane and Sean and Pegula and really oversee Sean. There needs to be some checks and balances to this team to make sure that the team is operating in the best interest of the fan.
Speaking of which, did you catch when Beane said me and Terry got together and Sean posed it to us to be the DC and we could yay or nay it based on how I'm like, you sure about that?
For who to be the DC?
Sean McDermott.
Oh.
I was like, you sure about that? You and Terry got together. He put a proposition to you guys. Okay, all right. Like that doesn't even sound right. I mean, and I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
No, you're good.
But I mean, my thing is his team, not organization, but his team. He's a head coach. You say I'm gonna be the DC. Fine, freak it. Bobby Babbage, you the DC. Guess who's still running the show? Me. Right. If you want to play that way.
Right.
So no, he didn't pose anything to Beane and Pegula.
I wanted to say this about Babbage too. Mm-hmm. We have to think about everything that's happened over the last 2 years and maybe even further than that since Daboll left, right? Because what came out in the Tyler Dunn report was revealing to say the least, but it was I'll put it like this. Babbage might be trying to leave because he wants to leave. In the same way that Chad Hall took a lateral move down to I think it was Jacksonville he went to, right? So I don't know if we can say, with the fullest of confidence. I'm still trying to find out if this is a thing. But we have to consider that, good coaches that get looks from other teams, and like as you said on this episode, Babbage has gotten looks from like 6 teams already. Hot name. Yeah, right? So I don't think that that's a coincidence that they're picking coaches from our staff, but even more so, the staff is willing to take it because you got to think about it like this, and Damaris Johnson TV, correct me if I'm wrong, please, but most of the time, if coaches are in a good situation where they really believe they're like this close to winning, they're going to want to stick around for that win. You know what I'm saying? My mindset is, they would, I'm assuming this, I guess, but they would want to stick around to get the win. And then after they've accomplished the ultimate goal of winning a championship, then they can go get a job somewhere else. Some guys might want the job over the ring, like Gilbert Arenas said.
I mean, that ring is currency, though. The ring 100%, is currency.
For a coach, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Right.
I got a ring. I can flaunt it when I interview. Look what I just did.
Right. So that's what makes me think that, if Babbage is ready to jump ship, and you mentioned this too with actually I forget who mentioned it, but with the people that we have leaving on defense, we're losing all our depth. is that a side of the ball that coaches are going to want to stick around to have to try and rebuild and maybe not get the numbers that are going to help them get jobs, right? So there's that added aspect to maybe Babich wanting to get out of here too. So I'm not trying to paint a picture of everybody's trying to bail on Sean McDermott, but I want people to really start paying attention to what's going on around them, because there's so much surrounded around the way this team is operated, not only for the 20-year drought, but even in the last 6-7 years of Sean McDermott's tenure here, that to me it screams we're a business first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my like, I grew up loving football because I loved the team, and I loved the fact that I had a team that nationally represented me and was trying to win games in the name of the city that I'm in, right? But the more and more you see and find out, there's some teams that really want to win, like Philly. There's some teams that are just okay with, being where they at. You know what I mean? I mean, it's kind of gloomy when you say it that way. But my point in bringing all of this up is for those people who are go-getters, those people who are game changers, those people who are, change makers, to hear this cry and to have a desire to have their voice heard and stand up and want to do something about it. Like, at some point, it can't be enough to just be in the league. It can't be enough to just have a team. It can't be enough to just make the playoffs every year. At some point, and I don't want it to be when we're past Josh's prime. I'm sure every single person in Indianapolis was pissed off they only got one championship out of Peyton Manning. With as great as he was, and I get it, Brady was in the way, but with as great as he was, can we all look at Jim Irsay and what he's done now and say that, maybe he's a little off as an owner?
Oh yeah, that's proven.
Right.
That's scientifically proven.
Right. So I'm sure a lot of what we're seeing now was going on even back then with his ego and some things that he did want to do and didn't want to do, players that he did want on his team, players he didn't. We don't know for sure if that's affected, what happened with Peyton Manning's tenure there. But it does speak to there being some variance in how badly you wanted to win as an owner, right? So I don't know. I want the mindset of my team to match a championship mindset, which is we go for it every year, no matter what, all or nothing. And up until this year, we've heard the Bills talk like that. We've heard the Bills say it's not enough. We got to do better. We're going back to work. Blah blah blah. This is the first year where I've ever heard the team say, well, the cap is what it is, and we're gonna go back to work next year. Like, Sean McDermott was acting like he had another 4 or 5 years in his contract. Mm-hmm. Brandon Beane was acting like it just is what it is. It's fine, guys. It's not as bad as you think. What?
I didn't get that impression from him. I felt like he did a good job masking it, but when they asked him so about salary and stuff, he was quite candid. He said, "Yeah, it's like that."
Yeah, but when they ask you to grade the season and you say, "Well, I'm not going to do that. That's really for you guys to do."
Yeah, because he don't want to get in trouble. That's when he got real red.
Yeah, I get it, but like. And this is not really so much on Beane as it is Sean. Sean was up there, and I don't remember, all the quotes. I probably should.
It's probably in my notes somewhere, but
yeah, if you watched that press conference, it was a lot of rhetoric. It was a lot of coach speak that all spoke to he don't know what the heck went wrong, and he's going to try to figure it out, but he doesn't know if he's going to be able to figure it out.
As always.
So. Real quick, Bozexy writes in, any business and its employees all the way to the top should strive to be the best in their industry, because you can be sure that the others in the industry will surely overtake them if they don't. That's very true.
Absolutely.
That's very true.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I got 2 points because we're coming close on time.
Right. We got to get out.
What does the special teams coach do? What does he do?
Watch Tyler Bass kick and Sam Martin punt.
Right. So
5 times of practice, and
right.
then
So
go get an ice bath with him.
Right. Yeah. He just says, "This is what you see with your left leg." See, the reason why I asked that is because we were like, they need to fire the special teams coach. Why? Why?
Your fault. You did it.
You have to stand in a certain spot to line up for a kick.
This is part of the reason I don't want Babbage to be the DC, because there's going to be another person fire the defensive coordinator. Why?
I'm like, why? What? So I'm like, okay. And then the other point I had, what was the biggest thing that people said in the offseason? The biggest liability on offense was the right tackle, right? Mm-hmm. Spencer Brown. We've already seen it that McDermott and company, the Bills organization, they don't like playing young rookies. They don't like playing. They'll pull you in a heartbeat. Spencer Brown, when we first saw him this season, what did he get? A lot of help, right?
A lot of help.
A whole lot of help. But you knew he had potential. Mm-hmm. Dorian Williams got benched ASAP because we gave him middle linebacker reps. We gave him, and he just wasn't ready. Bean said it. He just wasn't there yet. Now, let me ask you this. Mel, you're a strong guy. Can you bench 315?
I used to.
Woo! Can you?
Not at all.
I don't know. I can get close, but I don't know if I can. Yeah. But the reason why I ask this is when you bench press a heavy weight, what do you need?
Muscle.
Not a person stands over you and does what?
Oh, to spot you. Yeah.
So what was Dawson Knox doing for Spencer Brown? He was spotting him.
Okay.
Now, the first time you go into that 315, what do you get? You get a heavy spot, right? Dude might not take his hands off the bar, and they assist you. Mm-hmm. But then the next time you go, what happens? A little less. Yep. Next time, a little less. Mm-hmm. Next time, you might get it by yourself. But if I don't go in there and give you the reps to get to that 315 and feel comfortable with that weight, Dwayne Williams happens. Yeah. Kyer Elam happens. Yeah. When are we going to start benching 315? Yeah. Oh, snap. My goodness. What was in your cup? Yo, I thought I gave you the rap. Did I give you the rap Ron Pepsi?
I'm just not having a good day.
No, you're having a great day. I thought I gave you the Ron Pepsi. Let me see that bottle. But no, I mean, that's my thing. Like, when you're talking about Kyer Elam, you're talking about the rookies that we have to play now because Bean.
Oh, yeah.
I thought about it when Bean said this, and it's weird because I listened to it, then I went to the gym. Mm-hmm. And I'm in there like, yo, I couldn't do this, when I first started back up, but it took work. But now Spencer Brown has thought of he's a right tackle. He's not even a stopgap. He's legit above average. Yeah. But in the beginning of the season, they would leave him by himself. But he handled Chris Jones. He handled, whoever else they put over there. TJ Watt, not TJ Watt this year, but, he handled some guys that you thought, wow, we're going to get screwed by. But Dorian Williams, you saw what he had. He's a loose cannon. He misreads routes. But what did you have? Poyer, Hyde, Taron Johnson, Tre'Davious White at first. You had these guys out there that could help. You had guys out there that could show you the way. Mm-hmm. But you got to utilize them. This regime right here, if they don't utilize youth, next season is going to be terrible. Oh, yeah. Because that's all we have. Bean even said we're going to have to start youth. The first time I've ever heard Bean say, we got to hit on this draft. We got to.
Yeah, he did say that. But imagine the head start they would have had they trusted some of these guys the last 2 years.
There you go. AJ Epinesa.
They would for sure had a definite answer on whether or not they wanted to keep Epinesa had they started him.
Yep.
Think about it like this: the way Epinesa is playing right now, did we really need to draft Greg Rousseau? No. And
definitely not Boogie Basham. Definitely not him.
Exactly. Especially if you were planning on signing Von Miller anyway.
Right.
You did. So now you got $20 million on the cap for his 5th year coming up.
Did you need to sign Floyd?
Exactly. So it just, these are the moves that push me to the point of you don't really want to win.
That's where I come together with you. That's when you're talking about money, you're talking about personnel.
Yeah.
That gets me hot. Mm-hmm. What they do on the field, I have no control over it. Josh throws a ball, Steph does this, and it goes over there. I can't.
Right.
But when you're talking about common sense stuff like that, that's what pisses me off. And that's the stuff that's got to clean up. You're not smarter. You haven't proven that you're smarter than anybody else in that regard yet.
Exactly. That's what it's about right there. When you look at what the Chiefs have done, when you look at teams like the Bengals who drafted all of their young talent, to be as good as they were before the injuries. When you look at San Francisco, I mean, my goodness, they're doing it with Mr. Irrelevant, right? They're doing it with a quarterback they don't have to pay for another 2 years.
They took irrelevancy to
and the dude is making less than $1 million a season.
MVP categories,
right? To me, those are the guys that are winning. Like you
Yes.
look at what Sean McVay did this year
Yes.
with Matt Stafford, who's probably got another 1, maybe 2 years left in him. You best believe they're going to be better next year. They weren't even supposed to be that good this year.
Right.
But they got a lot of young guys that stepped up. Puka Nacua, like, come on, Kyron Williams. Like, yeah, he's getting injured like crazy, but he's still a great young running back. Like,
and Shannon Sharp said that in the oh man, I'm getting it's not that, but I'm about to jump on the tangent. But no, Shannon Sharp,
start loading up.
you're good. Shannon Sharp said in that what did I say, it was a clubhouse or whatever it is, the nightcap.
Yep.
He said, you know, he asked Ocho Cinco about Stephon Diggs and his drop. He said he's tied for 4th highest in drops in the league, which is true. 8 drops. 4th.
Who is?
Huh?
Who is?
Steph Diggs. Puka Nacua is number 1. But that doesn't mean anything because what? That's a skewed number because I looked it up. Steph Diggs is 58th in the league in drop percentage. You're 4th in drops, but when you have 150 targets,
Yeah.
that 8 ain't nothing.
Yeah.
What did Dalton Kincaid drop? 5, 6 passes this year?
Yeah.
I mean, James Cook had 7. You know, he was at 10%. So that tells you right there. You can't skew the numbers. You gotta use them the right way.
Right.
And the last thing I have, this is a challenge to anybody watching. For the next show, you guys, you can veto this or not, but I want to. I heard Joe Marino do it, and I thought to myself, this would be fun for us to do. What were your top 10 surprises from this season? We'll do this for the next show. I would love to go over, like, what are your top 10 surprise, you know, whether it was a player, whether it was a play, whether it was a scenario that just like, where'd that come from? I didn't see that. I would love to hear you guys chime in next week on Monday when we come in here and just have some dialogue and maybe we'll have a good time. I won't bring the Pepsi because he has me leaving with a full bottle.
That'd be fun.
I'm proud of you.
I did it on purpose.
I know
Just
you
to
did.
stick it
You
to
were trying so hard, so I got shot. I didn't drink my water because I was like, I'm not going to be thirsty at all. I am. I'm mighty parched.
All right. Well, with that being said, hopefully the music ain't too loud this time. I got it really low. So, listen. Thank y'all very much for tuning in. Last video we had got over 160 views. We keep growing and we keep thanking y'all, and none of this is possible without y'all. So please keep tuning in. Please keep recommending, sharing everything that you're doing. And we just gonna keep loving you right back with the content.
Hey. Okay, go ahead.
Oh yeah, Outside Looking In said I'm in for a top 10. Hey, do it.
Let's do it, man.
Get your
Hey,
top 10.
I'll see
Bring
you
it to the
next
show.
week.
We gonna get as many as we can in there.
Seriously, yeah.
So of course, like and make that thing.
Ring-a-ling-a-ling.
Okay. Now, we kind of slacked on our Spotify page. I don't know if any of you are listening on the go people. You know, maybe someone you recommend our show to can't, you know, watch and sit down for 2 hours. You can definitely direct them over to our Spotify page. We're getting that all back together and populated and everything like it's supposed to be. We are on every social media platform you can think of. I've been populating our X page. Instagram is up and running. Facebook is up and running. And what else is there? TikTok?
Yeah, TikTok.
Okay,
yeah.
so TikTok, we're still getting together on that one. Like, it's literally just the 4 of us doing this whole thing right now. So thank you for bearing with us. With that being said, I tried.
You did it. Oh, you didn't do it.
I didn't do it.
Oh, I was about to. Hey! Oh,
I
man.
need it again. I know. Almost.
I'm so proud of you, too.
Of course, as always, if there are any
Finish me up.
topics, anything you want us to cover with the team, any investigations you want us to get involved in, we got people that love doing stats. I love doing investigations and stuff and finding out, you know, truth information about, you know, what's going on with the Bills. Just hit us up. It could be, you know, direct message. It could be comments. It could be, you know, during the show.
It could be stuff you heard.
No doubt. And we'll address it as best we can, or if we don't have anything on it, we'll go get something on it, right? So that's the mindset we got. But with that being said, it's been the Post Podium Podcast, baby. Another live episode, home of the All Truth, No Sodium takes. I have been your co-host, Aramis.
Melly Mac.
Just keep.
We out.
Peace.